So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Cha, 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 cha. Hello everyone, this is Ernesto with Aftershoot, and in this video we're gonna discuss 5 tips that will help you get started as a portrait photographer. Okay, so tip number 1 that you should consider for portrait photography or any kind of photography or actually any kind of work you do is to have a game plan. Do not show up on the day of the shoot and have no idea of what you're gonna do or where you're gonna do it or how things are gonna go, what lenses you're gonna use. You need to have a game plan. So what I recommend is for you to look for references or images some other photographers have done that can give the result of more or less what you're looking for or what the client needs. Or for instance, some images that have been shot in similar locations. Let's say you're shooting at a park. Well, look for references of portrait photography done in different parks. If you're gonna do a studio shoot for your first time, like let's say white background for instance, look for references of white backgrounds. Show up on the day of the photo shoot with a game plan and ideas to follow through so that you don't get there and then you just go blank. That's the worst thing that can happen. It's gonna make you look not professional and it's gonna get your client to lose trust in you. So yeah, plan your photo shoot before you get to the photo shoot day. Now tip number 2 has nothing to do with photography and a lot to do with people skills. You gotta remember not everyone is a model. The moment that camera turns on and those flashes start going off, models know exactly what to do. They barely need instructions. Even if you give them some very basic instructions, they'll do great things with them. And even if you have some strange ideas in your head that you don't know how to put out there, models will be able to understand them and do a great job. But not everyone you're gonna work with is a model. Chances are when you're first starting in photography, you're gonna be shooting people that have never done a photo shoot before. So my recommendation to you is to talk to your client in order to build trust so that when you start shooting away, you guys are more acquaintance. Talk to them about their hobbies or the way there or what these photos are gonna be used for, their business, their family. Find common ground. Maybe there's something they've done or they like or they enjoy that you enjoy too. So build a conversation, build a relationship so that when you start shooting these images, they're a little more loose. They trust what you're doing. And even during the photo shoot, keep on talking to them. Show them the camera, joke around, make them laugh. This is very important because that's gonna bring out the best in them. If you're quiet all throughout the photo shoot, then it can be an awkward moment for people that have never been on a photo shoot. So it's very important for you to keep the channel of communication open so everything feels comfortable to them. That's the way to get the best photos. And don't worry about the first few images. Usually when you start a photo shoot with someone that has never been in a photo shoot before, are not very good, but it's like going up the stairs. Little by little, you're building trust, you're getting them to feel comfortable, and eventually you're gonna get to a point where everything plays out perfectly. So remember, open up and talk to your client. So let's talk about camera angles and how to work with them. Basically, a camera angle is where the camera is gonna be in relationship to the subject. Let's say you're gonna be under the subject, aiming slightly upwards. Are you gonna be over the subject, aiming slightly downwards? Or are you gonna be eye level with the subject? Usually when you're aiming upwards, you're making the subject look more important, more majestic. This is very used in fashion photography. Now it's very important not to go too low because then the image is gonna feel kind of weird and that might not be what you're looking for. And one of my favorites is shooting at eye level. That's gonna make your subject feel much more approachable. A lot of the portraits I shoot, depending on the objective of the image or the photo shoot, are shot at eye level. This works great for full body shots, close-up portraits, half body shots, basically for everything. I would say start your photo shoot at eye level, make sure you get those images dialed in, then evolve into like a slightly upwards angle to enhance your subject, and if you have time later on, you can experiment with lower angle photos. Now let's talk about framing and cropping. Now when you're framing your subject, try to avoid cutting off their limbs. Now I know that sounds weird because if you're taking a close-up of a person, you're obviously not getting their hands and legs inside the photo. So here's the situation. If you're gonna take a full body shot, take a full body shot. Let's make sure we see the whole subject. If you're gonna shoot 3/4, then crop right above the knee. Try not to cut straight at the knee because then the photo is gonna look kind of weird. The idea is that if you're cropping something out of the photo, it has to look intentional. It cannot look like an accident or that you don't know what you're doing. So full body is full body. 3/4 is slightly above the knee. Then you have half body, then you have a closer image, and then you have a very tight close-up. Now, when it comes to framing and cropping, you can do this in the photo shoot or later when you're editing your images. Let's say you tried a full body image, but you accidentally cut your subject's feet. Depending on the megapixels of the camera you have, you might be able to crop into the image and maybe change that full body image into a 3/4 or a half body photo that is not gonna look as weird as just cutting someone's feet off in a photo. Now let's talk about something I call obstructions. Everyone thinks about the background of their image, but when you're first starting in photography, not many people think about the foreground, and that can be just as important. Nowadays, with technology and different lenses and different cameras, everyone can get a very nice, creamy, blurry background, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have a good photo or a photo that's gonna stand out amongst other images that you can see online. You can get different out of focus elements in front of your subject that are gonna make your photo look great, or you can use different objects in the environment to frame your subject in interesting ways. So play with plants, fences, windows, whatever you can find that you can use in the foreground to help your image stand out. So there you go, those are 5 tips I can give you if you're starting as a portrait photographer. Don't forget to follow Aftershoot in all of our social media to have the latest information on what we have to offer. See you guys in the next video. Bye.